Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Shutdoor, or Door Shutter, coming back to you with episode 42 of Direwolf20's 1.18 mod pack. And today, we're going to get into blood magic just a bit more. So I'm going to put down a chest here, laser node, and we're going to experiment a little bit with laser IO being useful, right? So let's actually grab a piece of stone. So stone. And we will say we only want one piece of stone, so Control Shift. Okay, so let's just do this. All right, and then 64, we only want one, right? So we're going to extract out of this and input into this. So if I put 64 in here, yeah, it's not gonna work the way I want it to. So let's reverse this. So let's go counting filter here. Let's just get this out of here. And we will then do insert only one. I think it's what we want, right? Yeah. So that way we only transfer one into here. And we can grab our sacrificial knife and do a little bit of poking. All right, so now what we can do is we can actually go again, get some laser IO stuff, and we can grab, I don't really need a counting filter, not yet at least. So item extract, and we can do a chest as well. All right, so just a vanilla chest. Do this, extract, insert. There we go. Okay, so now this is the problem. Yep, we need a mob. Well, actually, hold on. There's a sensing thing on here, isn't there? How does this work? I don't know what this is. We have to look into this. I know Direwolf20's been talking about it a little bit here and there. But we'll do extract. We'll just grab a basic filter. We'll just clear it, and we will say deny stone. So we'll do deny, throw that into the extract, throw that in here, throw this back in here, and this should automate our blank slate production. So let's actually grab a golden apple. Since we have quite a bit of gold, we can actually just use some of these bad boys to get some better regen here. We have regen 2 and some absorption hearts, which don't actually count towards blood magic for some reason, which is okay. And honestly, I'm not even registering that this is actually cycling, so that's kind of cool. Alrighty. So while this is going, let's actually come over here and craft up the next layer of Tataric Gem. So we actually need to craft another Tataric Gem, which requires 1 will, right? So we've got 64, this should go down to 63. And then, well, let's craft the lesser Tataric Gem, which is actually requiring the petty Tataric Gem. Tartaric, right? And that takes up actually not that much. I think it's, yeah, so it drains 20, but it requires 60 to be in the gem. And real quick, I believe if we do, yeah, just right clicking with this in our hand, it'll empty it. So we can just get rid of this out of our inventory. And now we have the lesser Tataric, which we also do need to get to tier 2 blood altar to actually get the common, and tier 3 to get the greater, which actually requires crystallized will, so that's something else to look into. Alrighty. So for the tier 2 altar, which is actually what we're going to try to shoot for here, we need blood magic's runes. Blank runes are good to use the first time, right? So we need a total of 8 of these, which we actually can make, right? And we're actually out of blood. That's why this black smoke's coming out of it. So let's take this out, because we're actually going to move this up a little bit anyway. Oh, actually, first things first, we need a blood orb. So orb, we actually need a diamond for this. And that requires a lot of blood. So let me fill this up, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we got the weak blood orb here, and all you gotta do with this is actually just right click, and this will bind it to the player. Alrighty, and actually this grants us access to our own personal life points network, which is what this is actually filling when you right click. So rather than when you right click with a sacrificial knife, that fills the altar, this fills your personal storage, which is used by rituals and the tablets, I believe. I don't remember what they're fully called. What are they called? Sigils. That's what they're called. Not tablets, sigils. So that uses your personal network and all of that jazz. So let's get this going here. Actually, I'm going to drain this altar real quick. I'm going to make enough of the quite a bit more blank slates real quick. Let this drain, and once it's drained, we'll move it up. But let's actually quickly make the runes that we need. So as you can see, there are tons and tons of runes. I'm not 100% sure what these really are, these reinforced runes. We can look into that actually. I have the book, right? So if I grab the book and we look at runes, let's see. I'm trying to see if there is a chapter on those. So if I click on speed rune, so you can undo it with some netherite scrap and some hellforge parts looted from the demon realm. You can double the power of your speed rune, increasing the crafting rate by an additive 40%. Okay, so it is just a better version. So if I'm talking about like the speed rune, it increased it by 40 per rune on top of what this actually already increases, I'm assuming, right? So if we look back at speed rune, so this increases it by 20. I'm assuming that'll be a total 60 per rune, or no, the rate by an additive 40%. So I'm thinking it might either be 40 or 60. I'm thinking 40 by this text. Basically doubling it. So yeah, I think 40 would be the solid number to go with. And that's awesome. I mean, 40% faster per rune, right? That would just be awesome to see. And this is actually already all emptied out. So let's take this stuff up here. I don't have an axe, so we're just going to get over it for a second. I guess I could just get my axe out and stop being lazy, but that's too easy. Anyway, let's grab some blank runes here. So the weak blood orb goes in the middle, and our blank slates go up here, and we will just grab 8 of these bad boys. So let's pull this back a little bit here, and we're going to just make this pattern, and then grab our blood altar, and this will be tier 2. So tier 2, if we actually look here, we can actually look at this fancy stuff. So blood altars, blood runes, you can see actually all the runes here, and tiers of slates. This is kind of why we need tier 2, by the way. Let's see. Is because you can get reinforced slates. Reinforced slates can then become imbued slates. Imbued slates then become demonic slates. Of course, each tier is talked about there. So I think actually this gem's second, so the greater, is actually an imbued slate, which I believe is the tier 3 version. So we're probably not going to bother with Tataric gems for a little bit here. Alrighty. So what can we look at with this? Well, there's a lot. Honestly, a lot to do with blood magic. And I think what I want to get started towards is ritual. Rituals are interesting because they allow for you to do so many different things, and we can actually look at rituals here as well. So, list of rituals, here's all of them, right? Like, this is all you get from this, and of course each one does different things. Like, here's the Well of Suffering. This allows for you to put mobs basically on top of it, and when it's activated in a certain radius, it will kill those mobs, take that blood or that life essence out of them, and put it into your altar, which is awesome, right? Like, hearing that you can automate this whole system so you never have to, prick your finger ever again is an awesome thing. It's one of the ones that is always a good thing to go for. Maybe not first, but, you do need a Dusk Ritual Diviner, which of course is demonic slates, and demonic slates are expensive. You also need this, which is tier 4 anyway. So we'd have to get to a tier 4 altar before we can do anything of that sort. Because you actually have to activate it with that Ritual Diviner to, use it. And you also need Dusk Runes. So, yeah. Lots and lots of good stuff. There's Ritual of Regeneration, which I don't think I've ever used, but, acquires Dusk as well. The Hidden Realm, I believe, is the Demon Realm. So that'd be something we could look into. This is probably something we should look at anyway. But it requires 6 water runes, fire runes, earth runes, and air runes. And basically what that means is you want to get yourself one of these Ritual Diviners, and you wouldn't have to worry about what runes are which. So let's start going towards that. So we've got to get a tier 3 altar. Alright, so what that means is we're going to set up this system again. I'm going to be pricking my finger for a little bit, and yeah, I think before I do this, I want to actually quickly divert attention to a new mod that I've added, which is like every episode, right? And that mod is actually called Affinity. I mentioned this last episode talking about a mod that basically combines Aqua Affinity and Air Affinity. And for some reason, I'm actually not seeing it here. There it is. It is just called Affinity. This is, well, yeah, it combines that. Combines these two to make one. I'm not 100% sure why this isn't actually showing up in JEI under Affinity. But putting the @ in front of it will work just fine. And I do want to get this enchant sooner or later so we can get rid of Air Affinity and Aqua Affinity off this helmet. So just wanted to divert your attention to that. I will be getting that off camera this time. I'm not going to suffer, make you guys suffer. So let me get the runes we need, which I believe is, I don't even know how many. Hold on. So tier 2 is this, and you can only put the augmented runes around in that section. And we also could set up a Dagger of Sacrifice. I completely forgot about this, but basically mobs spawn above you. So mobs spawn either, you can put them on the ritual or the altar. So basically what this is it allows for you to have a mob near the altar. I believe it's in a certain radius. And in that radius, if you kill the mob, the LP goes in here, but it is kind of manual, right? So that's not too bad. And then, of course, here's the tier 3 blood altar. I'm pretty sure I want to actually get some sort of sanity. Maybe I'll grab the sacrificing sword or whatever it's called. Dagger of Sacrifice. And get some mobs over here. So, I'll be back. So as I'm standing here, getting blank slates left and right here, I want to actually quickly make some upgrades because we can actually make what is called a speed rune. And we're actually going to turn all 4 of the runes we can into speed runes. All right, so let's just toss those in there, and we'll grab all of those. All right, so, well, actually, I didn't grab all of them. One more. There we go. Alrighty, and then we'll throw them down here, and this should make this process just a bit faster. I'm currently only making the blank runes, by the way. I'm going to work on getting the other runes in a second here. I also kind of want to look at the divination sigil real quick here before we do too much more. So let's see here. So let's go for... We need arcane ashes. Arcane ashes come from an alchemy table. An alchemy table isn't that expensive. We have all the stuff to make it. So let's make one here. And we're just going to quickly toss this over here. There we go. And we'll grab what we need to make arcane ashes. So let's actually do this. Oh, nope, I didn't mean to do that. So divination sigil, which requires arcane ashes, which is chalk, so white dye, redstone, coal, and what was that last ingredient? Gunpowder? Actually, we could just do this, honestly. Alright, so charcoal, redstone, white dye, which, you know, I'm so low on, and gunpowder, which we actually have a piece right there. And we should just be able to toss, not in this thing. Actually, no, that was the right table. And then charcoal, we actually need our orb, which I think has actually been thrown in here. Yes, it has. We'll do that. And this will take a little bit of life essence, by the way, as well. So let's be prepared to take some damage if I don't have enough LP in here. Okay, we have enough. Alrighty, so divination sigil is a piece of redstone and a blank slate. So how we do this is we take the arcane ashes, we right click the ground, we right click with a blank slate, we grab a piece of redstone that I completely forgot to grab, and we right click. Well, I believe that's how we do it. Let me do it the opposite way. Redstone, there we go, okay. So it's redstone and then blank slate. And then, of course, you'll get this fancy animation, which will then give you a divination sigil once it's completed. All right, so right-clicking to bind the divination sigil. This will tell you your current LP in your, life network. And then right-clicking on this will tell you the current capacity, the current essence, and the current tier. So, of course, we're empty on that. But this will give me some information to actually know how much is in there while I'm doing some blank slates. All right, so we're currently making our first imbued slate here. And we'll see here. Let's see. So to make this, I believe it's imbued. It might not be the imbued slate. So use, blood altar, reinforced. That's what we're making. All right, so here's our first reinforced slate. We're going to take this, and we're actually going to take out this filter. Because we have a drawer over here now, which actually might not be the best option because we have, hold on. I don't know. We're going to have to figure out this whole system, I think. Just for now, we'll take this out. I need to look into it a little bit more here. So let's get some reinforced slates. We can start getting better augments. I want to get this to tier 3. I think we have enough stuff to do that. So let me get some reinforced slates. Let me get a little bit more things, runes of sacrifice and all that, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so let's click on this visualize thing. So for a tier 3, I think that would be ground. No, it's not ground. Let's actually go a little bit above, right? So let's go back in here. Let's uncheck the visualize. Let's go to the tier 5 blood altar, which we have no way of actually ever crafting yet. But I want to make sure that we actually can get this in the right level. So yeah, we need to go up quite a bit more. So we'll do visualize. We'll do right there. Okay, so that is one higher than we'd want. So let's break this. Let's do visualize, right click with this. Okay, so this would be a tier 5 altar. So I guess we could actually kind of bring it out this way just so we don't run into any other issues. We do visualize, click on that block, and that looks almost perfect. Let's go 2 more blocks out. So 1, 2, and we'll call this good. So visualize, there's our tier 5 altar. So we can clear this out. We can go to tier 3, and this is the altar we're currently going to be making. So let's go for our 4 speed runes. Right? And then, I guess it doesn't really matter since it is tier 3. All right. And let's go for our next set of runes. Where is my grid here? There it is. So we want our next set of blood magic runes. Alrighty, so we need to just do that. Grab our weak blood orb. And we'll throw in, I don't even know how many that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 20. And we actually already have 5. So let's go 15. Build this up. Right, and of course we will get the augmented runes sooner or later. I'm just kind of building the basic tier 3 altar here real quick. And we need, let's just quickly cobble together. It doesn't actually have to be bricks, by the way. Let me just actually find something like, for example, dark slate or dark stone bricks here. So we'll just throw these in the corners. We can, grab another variation of them. It doesn't really matter. And we can grab glowstone or prismarine sea lanterns. We're just going to go with glowstone. And if I can actually place it without messing it up, we will just pick up this with a silk touch. Boom, boom, boom. And we actually need to place the blood altar down, which requires this block to be broken. And I missed this one as well. All right, there we go, complete. Tier 3 altar. Now we can actually get to doing a little bit more complicated stuff. I think the first thing that I want to do with this is actually look into getting sacrifice runes. So let's look at blood, or just runes, actually. So we've got runes of sacrifice, runes of capacity. We could do, or self-sacrifice. I think we probably want to do these. I'm not going to set up a mob farm above us currently. I don't think I really want to. Actually, we could. I think we could. I want to test something. So there's a thing from Quark, I believe. No, it's not, from Cyclic, called the Entity Detector, right? I use these for the Wither system. And there's actually a feature where you can detect a limit, right? So I'm thinking like 20. So entity cramming's 25, right? So if we said, hey, we only want 20 monsters in a certain radius, so equal, and we were to put this on this, we could actually make a system to where it only keeps 20 mobs in there at a time. That would actually be pretty interesting. And also, you can place blocks here, by the way, just so you don't fall through. You can actually decorate these quite a bit, actually, as long as the main structure is still there. So I'm going to do that real quick. But if we actually wanted to set up a mob farm, such as like a mob duplicator, with, what do we got? I know we have some mob duplicators in here. We could do villagers. We could honestly just sacrifice villagers if we wanted. I've got a turtle, spider, sheep, iron golem, ghast, drowned. the enchanter mob and a zombie. We can actually do zombie, and we can just grab a mob duplicator. I think I'm going to set this up. So let me get a structure built above this. F3G. Oh, we're right on a chunk. I might push this whole thing over into the center and build a room so we can actually put a mob duplicator and have things spawn, basically, you know, get pushed down to the altar. So let me get a room made, get this pushed over, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alrighty, so let's figure this out. So the way I'm thinking about this entity detector is, let's see. So if I place this like right here, and I say, hey, I want monsters or mob. Mob will work. Actually, monster's fine. And I do a preview. I only want to be able to see probably one, right? Because we're right up here, right? So we want to then move this to, so we've got 1, or 0. I would think this would be 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's move it up 4. Alrighty. And then we'll grab a redstone transmitter. So let's just type in redstone so we can actually get a receiver and a transmitter all at once. So receiver, transmitter, we'll just use an old one. We will then turn off the preview, and we will then grab some sort of block. So transmitter, wrench. Alrighty. And we will reset the channel and say blood zombie. Just, you know, just make it simple here. We'll turn that receiver onto that channel. We'll come back into here. We'll replace this block with a receiver. Rotate it around. And we will say it should only be on when there is no redstone signal. So run with no redstone signal. Right? And we also need to make sure that we set this to 20. Right? So 20. Let's say less than 21. And we'll turn this power on and we'll see what happens here. Alright, so we should have zombies coming in here. Oh, you know, I don't have essence. We need to grab a tank, I believe. So, Ender tank. I don't remember the color. I think it might be gray, but it also might be light gray. So let's grab... let's just grab gray and try this. So... No, it's not gray. So it is most likely light gray. Alright, because I know it's 888, and we actually need one more. So here, there we go, essence, and then we need to actually pump this, of course, into here. And I think we want this to be a decent speed, so let's grab a pipe. So fluid pipe. We'll just grab that. There. Boom, boom. We should have zombies spawning now, hopefully. Okay, so run with no redstone signal. Right, and there should be no signal. Analog mode is no, it's outputting 15. Actually, yeah, that's right. If we did greater than, it would turn this off. So less than, right? So we'd want to change this to run with redstone signal. And of course, we can actually mute the zombies. So zombie. So set this here. There we go. Alrighty, so I'm not sure why this is not functioning. So let's actually pause this. So run with no redstone signal, because there's more than 20 zombies there, that's for sure. Okay, so let's change the range. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe? Okay, so now it's in the opposite. Hold on. Okay. That's what we should want. Keyword. Let me get this out of my inventory. I really do not like the whole mob infest thing. Let me grab a sword. We'll also want to demagnetize this as well. Let's see. So we'll grab this. We'll grab out... Where's my actual sword? This one? Alright, so let's just kill off these guys. Okay. And now we need to actually grab a dagger of sacrifice. So dagger of sacrifice, which is this thing right here, which is an iron sword. Right, iron sword. And I will need to prick my finger a little bit, so let me be back in a second. Alrighty, so we've got this, and what should happen is we should come up here, and we should basically just start hitting these guys, and they will basically, you know, start filling our altar. So let's actually grab some of this stuff and deposit quite a bit of this junk that I've gathered. And I don't want to throw that tome away because I will forget that I don't have it. All right. We could also toss that. And we'll need to get like a trash can type of thing or something out here. Or we could actually just... that's not a bad idea. Grab a vacuum later. And a chest. Pretty decently sized chest. Set this here. Set this here. Go up for item. And the area for this, which I don't think is actually going to be able to be shown, which is fine. And we'll do demagnetization. So one of these bad boys. Just set that right here for this area. And we can get to just filling up our altar. So if I actually grab the divination sigil, of course, we're at 2,599. We kill something, 2,000. Oh. Is this not putting... Oh, there it goes. Okay. I was panicking for a second. All right. So this is working. And I think what we want to do is we actually want to turn this down to 15. Right? That sounds good. And yeah, I'm going to get a lot more of the sigils, or the blank runes, so the slates, these things. I'm going to get imbued, I'm going to get reinforced, and I'm going to get blank off camera. I think next episode I'm going to step away from blood magic. I'm actually going to figure out a clay generation resource, which I've actually looked into, and then I want to kind of start generating some honey, but I have not found any bees, so that's something else that I need to look into. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!